United States politicians have always talked a bunch of shit about having centralized healthcare because they call that socialism, right? They call that socialism. But now apparently socialism's okay in their paradigm, using their words. Of course, it's not socialism. But now it's okay to have a centralized health database because it's going to be run by these tech companies. Oh yeah, and they're the same tech companies that are now at lieutenant colonel rank within the military. So that's going to get really messy really fast, and apparently it's already happening. So behind this video, I'll show you a few clips, and I'm going to have to leave it to you to connect the dots on your own. I've already said more than enough. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
I just got my power bill for next month, and it is almost $500. No, we turning every light off in this house. We're unplugging the refrigerator. $500.
See, this is why I'm fucking pissed, because I didn't even vote for this Do Not, and my electric bill is $948. I have to pay rent. What are we doing? What are you, like, what are you guys doing?
The tariffs are working. The tariffs are working.
If you're 50 years old and have a 401k, you've lost about $74,000 in the past 3 months. Does that feel like it's working?
No, I've lost more than that.
Across the country, energy prices are climbing more than twice as fast as inflation as the impacts of Trump administration policies begin to take effect, and it could become a focus as we head into the midterm elections. While the Consumer Price Index, which measures the average change in prices, increased 2.7% over the past 12 months, energy prices rose by 5.5%. According to an analysis from the Center for American Progress, nearly 60 utility companies are set to increase rates this year, totaling more than $38 billion for electric customers and $3.5 billion for natural gas customers.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Dr. Vasquez here, coming to you live in a shirt that I got for Christmas and I've never worn, and it is obviously somewhat wrinkled because we're still relocating. Nonetheless, the important news coming out of the United States these days is apparently the increased level of censorship, and this particular brand of censorship is brought to you by a private-public collaboration between two entities that I've mentioned in a prior video. And as I warned, or advised, or predicted at that time, quite obviously this is not going to turn out very well, and it's not turning out well. So you may have seen another video that's gone somewhat viral. It has to be pretty viral if I see it, because I don't watch much social media. At least I try not to. So if I've seen it, I have to assume it's been seen by a couple of million people by now. But as the situation continues to evolve between these private organizations and the US government, what people are finding is that they have to comply with the personal and political opinions of the owners of the company that have now become part of the US military. And remember, in the video that I did previously, I talked about, I just did that other video maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, so you can find it in the recent history of my posts. But the concern that I had there is that certain people had gotten lieutenant colonel rank in the US military simply because of their business affiliations. And I said that's not gonna turn out well for US citizens in general, because if they're combining surveillance companies within the military, then basically those surveillance companies are going to have military power. And that seems to be the way that things are starting to unfold, even though it's obviously early in the game. But the game ain't over yet. So the other thing that I commented on was my complete disgust that they had given these guys, who maybe have never, fired a weapon, or maybe they have, I'm sure they have their own weapons. But these people with no military training whatsoever got lieutenant colonel rank in the US Army, But like I said, I mean, that's just a complete insult to a system based on merit and based on earning rank. So I'm going to show you some other video clips behind this introduction that talk about, that one of them demonstrates very clearly a sergeant first class. I believe he's in the U.S. Army. He's a sergeant first class with 20 years of experience in the military, 20 years of service, as we say in America. 20 years of service. He's a sergeant first class, but now he's outranked by these lieutenant colonels from the tech companies, and now he's being censored despite his proven loyalty. I mean, I'm assuming 20 years in the military. 20 years of service in the U.S. military, and now he's being censored by probably the same tech companies that I've mentioned recently, who are affiliated with certain political, not simply affiliated, but they're actually participating and pushing a particular military program in another country, between two other countries. But now, if he comments on that as an American citizen, now he's considered to be a threat to national security. So this is going to create what hopefully someone has already said this before me, but if not, I'm going to say it now. This is going to create what I call political codependence. And that is, in order to not get censored, and this, we've all lived through this already during the pandemic. In order to not get censored, you have to anticipate and align yourself with, or at least appear to align yourself with, the political and personal views of the people who are now in charge. And so that's going to change, every couple of years. But, for example, before the 2020 start of the pandemic, I was able to talk about infectious disease and immune system and nutrition and things like that. I was allowed to talk about that. But then all of a sudden I was getting censored all over the place, and I couldn't talk about nutrition anymore. I couldn't talk about immune function anymore. I had written a book 6 years previously on antiviral nutrition and immune function and things like this. I mean, that's an entire field kind of between nutrition and medicine called immunonutrition. It's not like I made it up. But all of a sudden I wasn't allowed to talk about that anymore because of the people who were trying to push this pandemic response. And so, that was kind of a good example of like socio-political codependence. I had to start conforming to what I guessed and perceived was their paradigm, so that I wouldn't get kicked off of every, social channel that I had access to. So I think you're going to see more of this, where people start getting censored and they basically start going crazy because they don't know why they're getting censored. And then they find out later that they got censored because they upset somebody, in some tech company who now has colonel rank, lieutenant colonel rank in the Army. And now they're considered a threat to national security simply because they voiced an opinion that has nothing to do with, being a threat to national security in the United States. So, like I said, that's going to get really messy really fast, but apparently it's already happening. And I just talked about it for the first time. We're at the end of August now, so I either talked about it early August or the end of last month. But all this is happening right now in real time, So my concern and my prediction has been that when you see a merger of these private tech companies with military, and then you see another merger over here with some of those same companies now being brought into this new medical system in the United States, all of a sudden, the United States, which has never wanted anything like a centralized medical system. United States politicians have always talked a bunch of shit about having centralized healthcare because they call that socialism, right? They call that socialism. But now apparently socialism's okay in their paradigm, using their words. Of course, it's not socialism. But now it's okay to have a centralized health database because it's going to be run by these tech companies. Oh yeah, and they're the same tech companies that are now at lieutenant colonel rank within the military. So that's going to get really messy really fast, and apparently it's already happening. So behind this video, I'll show you a few clips, and I'm going to have to leave it to you to connect the dots on your own. I've already said more than enough. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for posts that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security. When I asked for proof